What is going on, guys? The judge is here. And I'm here to break down what happened in last night's NBA slate. We had 11 games, our first big, massive slate of the year. It was a ton of fun. I'm just so happy that Hoops is back. I stayed up almost all night watching a part of every game. Because I'm not going to lie, I fell asleep around 10 p.m. Eastern and missed some of the late games. So when I woke up, I went back and watched, and I ended up watching a part of every game. So, again, so much to monitor this early in the season. We have new players on new teams, new coaches, new schemes on both the offensive and defensive end. I want to see how the second-year players are doing, which players are going to have are prime for breakout years. There's just so much to kind of focus on right now. And then I want to help you tell you what happened in the games and then how it's going to translate onto the TopShot marketplace. Hopefully we can talk a little DFS in these videos as well. And as long as you guys like the content, hopefully I can do these daily. Now, you guys know me. I love hoops and I talk a lot. So I'm going to try my best to keep these under 30 minutes a day when there's large slates. On the smaller slates, I'm going to try to keep it under 20 minutes. But we'll see. We'll see. There's a lot to cover. We can't waste time. Indiana, Charlotte. This game was great. Not surprising for Indiana. Sabonis is a monster, right? Nothing new there. 33 points, 15 boards. Charlotte had nothing on the interior to stop him. By the way, neither team played defense in this game. It was pretty embarrassing defensively. Charlotte is going to struggle to defend anyone on the interior. I mean, they had Plumlee and P.J. Washington. Also, P.J. Washington, I'm nervous about him this year. I'm not a Washington fan anyway, but he only got 17 minutes? 19 minutes. Plumlee got 32, and those two didn't overlap at all. So it looks like he's going to be the backup, just like the backup five. And so Bridges clearly surpassed him last year on the depth chart at playing the four now. And, so P.J. Washington stock down. And I don't know how the minutes are going to be this year for him. But again, I don't really care because I'm not a P.J. fan. Bridges was fine for Charlotte. But obviously the story of the game on the Hornets side was LaMelo. LaMelo, I was nervous. How is LaMelo going to look in his second year? Well, Jesus Christ, the guy was phenomenal. He kept them in the game. Indiana was up to a big lead. LaMelo brought them back almost single-handedly in the third quarter. 31 points, 9 boards, 7 assists, 7 for 9 from three-point range. I mean, his stroke looked so silky smooth. It was really an impressive performance for LaMelo. You could not ask for a better start to the season for him. If you have a lot of stock on LaMelo on TopShot or anywhere else, you're feeling great. I do definitely want to note this though. Down the stretch of that game, it was not LaMelo. The last 3 minutes of the game, every possession, LaMelo played hot potato, and he gave it to Gordon Hayward every time. And that was something of note because that was LaMelo's game, and Gordon Hayward was awful for the first 3 quarters. Fourth quarter, though, it was Gordon Hayward time. And he ended up the game with 27 points, 5 boards, 3 assists, and he took 22 shots in 35 minutes. Now, remember, Terry Rozier was out of this game. But that was something important to note for me. Down the stretch of these games, it does look like Hayward's going to have the ball in his hands. So while LaMelo was great the first 3 quarters, maybe even the first 3.5, down the stretch, it was all Gordon Hayward. And the way LaMelo was playing, I was like, what are you doing, dude? Just keep the ball yourself. So that was one. Again, I'm not knocking LaMelo because it just shows how unselfish he is as well. But that was, I thought, really interesting that down the stretch, every single freaking play was Gordon Hayward, and he came through. He was awful the first half, especially, but he did come through. And Rozier out was obviously a big factor as well in that game. On the Indiana side, we got to talk about this Duarte rookie. This guy was really good in the preseason. I didn't know if it would translate over. Well, look, LeVert was out. Warren is still out. When those guys come back, I think Duarte's minutes obviously will take a hit. But he's still going to have a place in this rotation. 27 points, 5 boards, and 1 assist. I mean, he was tremendous. He was aggressive. He was looking to shoot every damn time he touched the ball. He popped off the screen. And obviously, you can't buy him on TopShot yet or anything, but if you play season long, I would definitely grab him. Now, LeVert's a high usage guy, so when LeVert comes back, Duarte will go to the bench, and we'll see what happens there. But for the time being, the Duarte, be looking to play him in DFS. We'll see what his salary does and all that, but just really impressive to watch him play. Brogdon was really good. He played 40 minutes, and obviously the two-man game with Sabonis. Sabonis was just unstoppable. 33 points, 15 boards, and honestly, I thought they should have went to him more. 19 shots. He should have had 30 shots because again, Washington had no way to defend him, and Indiana blew that game. They should have won that game. But a lot of fun things to watch there. Obviously, the takeaways. LaMelo just sensational, and then Duarte for Indiana. Other than that, it's kind of what we expected from the players in that game. Next up, let's go. We can't waste time. You can see over 5 minutes already. Jesus Christ. Next game up. Where are we? Bulls Pistons. This game was awful. This game sucked. Probably the boringest game that I watched all night. Killian Hayes. Oh my God. Stock down. I'm not gonna fire sale. I don't sell anything on TopShot, but I'm not gonna panic. Cade Cunningham was out for this game, but this was a game for the second year players that not great. Patrick Williams. I've been telling you guys for a while, with Levine and especially the DeMar DeRozan signing and now Vucevic there and Lonzo and Caruso, and there's just not going to be the usage for Patrick Williams. So dude took 3 shots in 28 minutes. And this is going to be a broken record, I feel like, all year long. I'm going to come on the show, and this will be we should have a segment every day. How many shots did Patrick Williams take? Over, under 3. Well, it was 3 last night, 6 points. So is that going to, stock down? It's just the way it's going to be. I mean, the Bulls, they have too many offensive weapons, even though this game was ugly. 94-88, the Bulls ended up winning. Levine was sensational. The dude put up 34. I was nervous about how many shots he's going to get with DeMar there now. Only 17 shots, and he put up 34 points. How efficient is he? Is he closing in on to being a superstar? I mean, he's already been a star, all-star level, right? He's good. I mean, that kind of efficiency is impressive, and he was pretty efficient last year as well. So Vooch took a lot of shots, 7 of 21, but that's fine. DeMar does what DeMar does, boring. 8 of 17, his stupid mid-range stuff. So the Bulls didn't look good, but they got the win, and that's all that mattered here. The preseason they looked a lot better, but who cares about the preseason really? But again, for me the takeaways were a couple of things on the Bulls side. With the Patrick Williams thing, I just think the usage will not be there. Alonzo and Caruso is going to be interesting to watch. I think Lonzo is going to lose some time to Caruso down the stretch. You can see the Bulls are going to be closing with Caruso some games. Caruso is just again, defensively, he's so damn good. Lonzo's pretty good defensively as well. But there's going to be times if Caruso has it going, I can see the Bulls just rolling with Caruso instead of Lonzo. So Lonzo was fine, 12.6 boards, 4 assists, but Caruso, again, just defensively had 4 steals. So that's something interesting to watch, that dynamic play out. When Kobe White was not playing yet. When Kobe White comes back, we'll see what happens there with that rotation as well. On the Detroit side, again, Killian Hayes, that was really, really concerning. Only 20 minutes. And I hate Dwayne Casey. I've always hated him. So what does he do? He, of course, plays Corey Joseph because he's an asshole. Would you want to develop your young talent? No. If he struggles, pull him, bench him, and get his confidence way down. That's the Dwayne Casey motto. Let's kill the confidence of my young players. So he benched Killian Hayes, who did not look good. Okay, 0 points in 20 minutes on 0 of 6. And Corey Joseph is a little maggot. He's a pest. He always gets in the way of everyone. He did it for Sacramento last year. He got in the way of Fox and Halliburton. Coaches love him, though. So Corey Joseph played 28 minutes, and that's the reason why Killian Hayes ended up getting benched, and also he sucked. So that's something to keep an eye on. Cade Cunningham was out. I'm not going to panic over Killian Hayes in one game, but we have to monitor this, and I have a lot of Killian Hayes stock, but we'll see. Obviously, you could not ask for a worse start for him. The rest of the Pistons, again, Beef Stew was solid. Again, him and Kelly Olynyk, I think, will be splitting minutes most of the year, which is kind of what I predicted. Beef Stew, 26 minutes. Kelly Olynyk, 22 minutes. So both those guys played pretty well. Beef Stew at 12 and 8. And Olynyk at 10 points, 4 boards, 3 assists. So I could see some games Kelly Olynyk getting more minutes, and other games, Beef Stew getting more minutes. That, again, we'll have to monitor that one. Jeremy Grant was good, 24 points, 20 shots. He is still a usage guy. He's probably still going to be their number one option. Sadiq Bey wasn't making shots last night, but still played 33 minutes, 6 of 15. really the main thing for me from that Detroit game was just how bad Killian Hayes was, and how quickly Casey looked to bench him. And then on the Bulls side for me, Levine was sensational. Watching Lonzo and Caruso and Patrick Williams, I just think it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough for him offensively. Defensively, they still need him, but it's going to be rough. And I think we have to monitor that. And if you see some people fire selling him on the TopShot market, I still like his future. Like we'll talk about some other second year guys, also like Okoro that I'm nervous for. But I think a lot of the second year guys from last year may drop a little bit on the TopShot market. And this early, I'm not going to panic yet, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't know how Patrick Williams is going to get shots in that offense. I really don't. And last year he didn't even get shots, and this year's worse. So next up, Boston Knicks. This was a double overtime thriller. This game was sensational. Knicks won this 138-134. Not much to take away here. Too much. I would say on the Knicks side, they all played big minutes because that's what Thibodeau does. Randall was really good again, 27 shots, 35 points, 8 boards, 9 assists. I mean, picked up right where he left off last year. Not in the playoffs, but the regular season. The key takeaway for the Knicks for me was Mitchell Robinson. Nerlens Noel was out. Mitchell Robinson was hurt all of last year, and he played, and he was great. I had high hopes for Mitchell Robinson last year. I picked up a lot of stock on TopShot. I had him on season-long leagues. DFS I would play him, and he kept getting in foul trouble. He kept getting hurt. He's always been hurt, and it's always been in foul trouble the first few years of his career. Well, 34 minutes for him, that's massive. 11 points, 17 boards, 3 assists, so 2 blocks. So when Nerlens comes back, I'm curious to see what happens, who starts, what's the minutes dynamic. But Mitchell Robinson always has been a pretty good talent. So that's something to keep your eyes on. Kemba Walker, 10 points. Not really much involved in the offense, quite honestly. 8 shots. That was interesting to me. So I was nervous that he would take away from Randall. Nope, not in game 1 for sure. And Evan Fournier. I mean, Jesus Christ. This guy, he was lighting it up in overtime. I mean, 32 points, 25 freaking shots for Evan Fournier. I thought they overpaid, but for at least one game, he looked tremendous. Now, am I going to be rushing to buy Evan Fournier on TopShot? I will not be. But MSG seems to already love the guy. So it was interesting to watch him go off like that. And RJ Barrett, I will say, he was fine. He 19 points, 5 boards. But he was the key reason why Tatum struggled so much. His defense was great. So, Barrett, nothing's going to jump out you from the stat sheet, but if you watch the game, his defense was really great on Tatum. So, I was hoping Barrett was going to make a leap offensively this year. But now with the Knicks getting Kemba, getting Fournier, is the usage going to be there for Barrett? I'm not sure. We'll have to see that. Also, the one thing I am nervous about is Quickly. Quickly got 8 minutes. So you can see a lot of the guys we had high hopes for, the second-year players. Not a good night here. First couple games we're talking about. Look, Thibodeau he plays the starters big minutes. He's got Derrick Rose, who's still going to play over 20 minutes. He's got Burks there still. So Quickly is kind of the odd man out right now. Not a lot of minutes left. So not great. And I'm a Quickly fan. Obi Toppin looked good. It's important to recognize. 28 minutes for him is great, 14 points. But Taj Gibson was out, and Thibodeau, nothing gets Thibodeau aroused more than Taj Gibson. So I would love if Obi Toppin's minutes could stay that high, but we'll see if that's the same case when Taj gets back. On the Boston side, Tatum just couldn't make a shot. Some of that was RJ Barrett defense. Other was that Tatum just was missing everything. 7 of 30. 30 freaking shots. Jaylen Brown was sensational. 16 of 30. I mean, this is what's going to happen for Boston. Tatum and Brown are going to take massive usage bumps. Remember, no Kemba now. They're going to just be. They could both average over 25 points a game, and I still think Tatum has a good shot to lead the league in scoring. But Jaylen, I mean, hell, and the dude took. Jaylen had 8 threes, 46 points. I mean, he was so good. And those guys are just both of them. Tatum and Brown are going to have massive years. And Jaylen Brown. He was the number one guy. So him and actually Obi Toppin, actually Fournier a little bit too on TopShot. They were spiking last night. So again, were people watching the games on TopShot? Maybe. Well, we know they weren't, but there was some movement. Again, am I going to rush out? Jalen actually was an interesting case because remember, he was hurt last year. He kind of fell off the radar. So it made sense that his moments were a little bit too low on the Top Shot market. I know some people in our community bought some Jalen Browns last night. And he's going to have a big year. But again, him and Tatum every game, all the shots are there that they want. The big takeaway, though, for me from this game was Time Lord. Time Lord, the issue for him is not the talent. It's been health and can he stay on the court. 45 minutes in the first game of the year. 16 points, 10 boards, 3 steals, 5 blocks. All that's great, but the minutes, that's what's essential here. Holy shit, 45. I mean, Brad Stevens would never play Time Lord. Maybe it's just now they got a new coach. I don't know what it is, but if he's going to get those kind of minutes and he can stay healthy, he's going to be such a big stat producer and a big help to Boston. So that's the guy I have my eyes on. Stock up Time Lord. Scoop him up on the platform. I think he's only got the 12K debut, right? So I love me some Time Lord right now. Next up. Guys, we're already 16 minutes in. You can see. Frick, I talked way too much about these games. Wizards, Raptors. You know what? Well, this one we can kind of skip over quickly. Raptors. Not great. Okay? Not great, Toronto. Yikes. One of the worst teams that I saw all day. Sorry, my screen is getting slow. I'm pulling up this box score. How's your day going? Hope you guys are having a good day. The Wizards won this game easily, 98-83, and it wasn't even this close. So I will say let's do Washington first. Beal was good. Dinwiddie was good. But this was a hard game to gauge because it wasn't close. Really wasn't close at all. I'm not sure what to take away here. Dinwiddie, again, a lot of the Washington starters didn't have to play many minutes. And the Washington bench actually was really good. I would say Kuzma, 35 minutes, 4 of 13. God forbid he can make a shot ever, but he had 15 boards. He's a giant, by the way. Do you see how big Kuzma is? He may be 7 feet. I don't know what he's listed at, but every time I see him, he looks so damn large. But 11 points, 15 boards. Gafford still doesn't get big minutes yet, but we'll see. I'm not taking too much away here. Montrezl Harrell looked good. He looked really good. 26 minutes, 9-11 from the field. So maybe Gafford and Harrell will be splitting minutes most of the year. I would expect that to be the case. But really not much to take away from this game because it was such a blowout. It was over pretty early. On the Toronto side, they sucked. Fred couldn't make a shot, 5 of 20. Dragic got benched. Not great start for Dragic's Toronto career. I think he'll be traded. Scotty Barnes, I thought looked really nervous in the first half. Second half, he played a little bit better. 33 minutes, 12 points, 9 boards. The good thing here is the minutes. 33 minutes for Scotty Barnes. I think Toronto's main goal this year may be to develop him. So, again, Scotty Barnes, I'm high on, especially while Siakam is still out. OG was a mess. Holy shit. He was one of the worst players I saw on the slate. 3 of 17. He just couldn't make a shot. I mean, the usage was great though, so that's all I care about. People are gonna miss shots, right? You can't go 12 of 17 every game. So I'm not nervous about that. He did some other stuff, 10 boards, 2 steals, an assist, a block. The usage though, that was great, and the minutes were good, 34. He's gonna make a shot. So if Fred's going 5 of 20, OG's going 3 of 17, not great. Precious got the start, but only 19 minutes. Nick Nurse loves to dick people around with that rotation. So, I'm a little down on Precious. But again, only one game. I'm not panicking here. And Toronto just got blitzed from almost the opening tip. So, again, I'm not taking too much away from that game. But for DFS, OG let me down. OG, how dare you. OG had high hopes for you. Come on, pick it up. Grizzlies, Cleveland. Very interesting game here. On the Cleveland side, I was really excited to watch them play. Now, their starting lineup, they started like 3 7-footers. Sexland, Garland, and Sexton started. Garland was not good. He shot 5 of 15. So much for a breakout year in game 1, but we'll see. Sexton was, 7 of 13. They got to trade Sexton. They have to. Get him out of there. They started Markkanen at the 3. Dude's 7 feet. They started Allen at the 4. He's 7 feet. Mobley at the 5. Mobley was sensational. I don't think this is going to work. I don't know. Starting 3 7-footers in 2021, 22 seems insane to me. But we'll see. I mean, Garland and Sexton, they need to play with pace, and I don't know. But what I do know is this: Cleveland is going to build around Mobley, and they may have got a gem, because that dude put up 17 points, 9 boards, 6 assists, a block, and a steal. So, and by the way, Jared Allen, he was good too. He had 25 points. He shot 11 of 11, and he had 3 steals and 3 blocks. So, I mean, I don't know. It looked odd, right? I was a little. I mean, defensively, you can see Memphis put up 132. So defensively is going to be a major issue for them. Marketing got 31 minutes. And really, they played a 9-man rotation, so they didn't play a ton of guys. Rubio was really good off the bench. I mean, Rubio was way better than Sexton, and Garland for that matter. He put up 12 points, 10 assists in 25 minutes. And he should probably be starting, which is tells you how low I am on Sexton. The guy that I was most upset about was Okoro. So Cleveland has basically said that they think Okoro is a 2-guard. And he is. If you watch him play, he's small. He really is not a 3. And he even played the 4 sometimes last year. He's a 2-guard. He's like 6'4". And he only got 21 minutes. And right now, until they trade Sexton, and if they're going to go with this big lineup, Okoro seems to be the odd man out. 21 minutes last night, 8 points, 5 shots. Him and Patrick Williams are the 2 guys right now who I'm nervous about in terms of usage for this year so far. I had hopes for them. I'm not giving up after 1 game, but that's what I'm really focused on. What's going to happen with Okoro? Because again, he's a gritty defensive player. Offensively, we don't know if his game took any leap yet, and if Cleveland's going to go with that rotation, I'm nervous. Right? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how long they stick with the Markin and Allen Mobley combo. But I'll tell you this: Mobley his minutes are going to be there. 38 minutes in game 1 is insane for a rookie. And he was really good. And he does look. You talk about a defensive anchor. Just really impressive. He does everything you want, and he seems to be pretty damn smart for a rookie already. So that was the main takeaway from that game from me for Cleveland. Memphis, nothing to take away here. Actually, there's something. Ja was great, 37 points, 17 and 29. Ja was getting to the basket at will, but again, it says a lot more about Cleveland's defense, right? If you have 2 7-footers, by the way, how is Ja getting to the rim at will? Well, I don't know, right? It's Cleveland is going to. As much as I love Mobley, I don't know if you just. I don't think you can play 2 7-footers, 3 7-footers. It's just they're too slow, and Ja is lightning fast. So there were holes in that defense, and Ja just took advantage of it all night long. Bane and Melton were also just phenomenal. Dylan Brooks is out. Both Bane and Melton put up 20 points. Jaren Jackson Jr., 3 of 12. 13 points, 6 boards. Also, Jaren Jackson Jr., will you ever get 10 rebounds? Ever? Will you ever rebound the damn ball? Do you know? Are you scared of going in the paint? Get some freaking rebounds. It's embarrassing. You're embarrassing me and everyone watching. I still got hopes for Triple J, but not great for game 1. Again, also he just didn't seem interested. It wasn't a big part of their offense. I'm telling you, if you watched that game, you would have been like, oh, who's that guy? Again, you would have thought Ja and Bane and Melton were like the top 3 players on that team. So we'll see going forward there. Off the bench, nothing stands out for Memphis in that game. But Ja was pretty special. But again, he's still got to develop a jump shot, and he didn't show that. He just showed he's going to, I'm not taking a jump shot. I don't need to. I'm just going to go to the rim every freaking time, like 2005 Dwayne Wade. So next up, Houston, Minnesota. Houston, the team that may have looked the worst that I watched all night. Minnesota, maybe the team that looked the best. Now, some of this was because Houston does suck. But holy shit, did Kevin Porter Jr. get locked down. Kevin Porter Jr. got locked down. He was turning the ball. 9 turnovers. Look, Minnesota seemed to have the perfect roster in place to flummox KPJ. Okogie, I call him Okie Dokie, and Jaden McDaniels. two defensive studs. In Minnesota, man, they got like three guys who need the ball. Russell, Towns, and Edwards. We'll get to them in a second. And then they started, again, Okogie and Jaden McDaniels, who are all about defense. And KPJ just could not handle it. He got flustered. He was frustrated. The turnovers were abysmal. He was in foul trouble. And he looked awful. Now, am I nervous? No. He'll bounce back. He'll be fine. Jalen Green also did not look good. He had a couple highlight plays, but 4 of 14, 32 minutes, 9 points. I don't know. I'm not nervous. It's one game. Christian Wood, Houston's not good. I don't even know what to say about this game. Daniel Tice and Tate. Everyone from Houston was a mess. Eric Gordon came off the bench. He was probably their best player. I hope they trade Eric Gordon because I don't want him taking any minutes away from the youngsters. But just Minnesota was flying around. They were sensational. They just really were. Anthony Edwards, LaMelo was great. I think Anthony Edwards was better. I really do. He was 10 of 21, 29 points, 6 boards, 3 assists. But the thing with him, 6 of 12 from 3. But the thing, the game just slowed down for him right now. Everything was so easy. His shot, he can get to any spot on the floor he wants. He really can do anything on the offensive end. I thought he fit really well. I thought with Towns last year, I was nervous about that. He was so confident. And the thing is, down the stretch, I think he could have the ball in his hands, whereas LaMelo is passing the ball to Gordon Hayward. So, again, LaMelo, sensational. So was Anthony Edwards. Wow, was I impressed with how well he played. Towns was also great. I mean, 30 points, 10 boards in 29 minutes. Russell only played 25 minutes, but were also really good. And if those three can mesh as well as they did last night, I told everyone all offseason, Minnesota, I was very anxious and very excited to watch because they were one of the few teams not tanking last year. They were trying to win every damn game towards the end of the year, even though there was no reason to try to play, to try to win games. But this coach, I love the coach. The way I like Jane McDaniels falls into the Patrick Williams Okoro situation, unfortunately, with usage. The usage is 3 shots, right? Every day we do the same thing. How many shots did Jaden get? How many shots did Patrick Williams get? Is it over under 3? Well, he got 3 shots, but defensively he had 4 steals and 3 blocks. I mean, that's 7 stocks, and he was everywhere. And I mean, him and Okogie, they don't need the ball. And when you have 3 dynamic offensive players in Russell, Towns, and Edwards, you don't need much more scoring. Beasley off the bench, didn't do much. I mean, off the bench, Minnesota really didn't do much, but those starters were just so damn good, it didn't matter. So Houston, TBD on that, TBD. But holy shit, KPJ, take care of the ball and relax out there. It's basketball. Have fun. Have fun. Relax, baby. Relax. You'll be okay. Philadelphia 76ers and the Pelicans. I'm skipping over that game. Let me just say this. Maxey, stock up. Maxey was really good. Embiid was terrific. Tobias was really good. But the Pelicans are the worst team in the league. They stink. Zion's going to be out for God knows how long. Fatty McDaddy, he broke his foot, and now who knows when he's coming back. Ingram was fine, but he struggled because Thibault and Philly's good defensively. I mean, they made Ingram's life pretty tough, even though stats looked okay. Alexander Walker was good for the Pelicans. He doesn't do much besides scoring. That's my only concern there a little bit, in terms of like the stat sheet and how his numbers are going to look. But he would be a Maxey and Alexander Walker. Bye. I like both those guys. Before the season, I thought, again, they're going to have big roles. Simmons will get traded eventually. So, but the Pelicans, otherwise, they're terrible. They're a hot mess of ass. And Valanciunas shot 3 of 17. He's not going to do that again. I mean, he was missing just bunnies. One Embiid, is maybe the best defensive player in the world. I mean, top 3 or 4, right? Especially with big men. Maybe Giannis is the only one that's better. Maybe Anthony Davis you could throw in there, but Embiid, I mean, great defender. But Jonas was just missing easy shots. Jonas shooting 3 of 17 is impossible. So that will change. Jazz, Thunder. Again, I'm going to skip this one for the most part. Thunder stink. Holy shit! If you're an OKC fan, I'm sorry. My apologies to you. It's going to be another long year. SGA didn't look that good. Giddy up, Giddy down. I don't know. I know some of you guys love Giddy. I don't know. Like the rotation was a mess. Poku seems to be not. It seems to be in the doghouse a little bit. I don't know. It it could be a long year. And Utah, this was such an easy game. There's nothing to learn from Utah. We already knew. You know Utah anyway. It's the same freaking people. Denver, Phoenix. This was an interesting game. Denver's good. I told you they're a dark horse team to make it out of the West. Jokic was sensational, as he always is. MPJ was good. But the thing that was interesting last year is MPJ was making his ascension. Barton was out for a lot of the last few months of the season. Barton was back, and Barton was like the second go-to guy offensively last night. MPJ was really the number 3 guy. It only took 10 shots. MPJ 15 points, 10 shots. Barton 20 points, 14 shots. Again, everything was built around Jokic, and they did run a lot of Barton, They can run a 2-man game with Barton and Jokic, with Monte Morris and Jokic, and I want to see more 2-man game with MPJ and Jokic. I hope that happens. I think it will. But Denver, pretty solid. I mean, Aaron Gordon was really good in his 29 minutes. Again, not. I wouldn't want to buy Aaron Gordon on TopShot, but they just have a really, really solid team, and they're kind of deep. Austin Rivers even only played 8 minutes. I mean, you got PJ Dozier off the bench. They got little Kempo, Caponari. And that's without Jamal Murray. So Denver's a good team, man. And could they win the whole thing this year? Well, no, because the Bucks are going to slaughter them in the finals. But they could come out of the West. They could. They're that good. Phoenix just struggled. Chris Paul couldn't make shots, 3 of 15, or 3 of 11, and then Booker didn't make shots, 3 of 15. So just kind of an off night for Phoenix. I wouldn't put too much stock into that. For me, it was more so Denver just really came out of the gates playing well, and that's what Jokic did last year too. Jokic came out of the gates last year, and he played, and that's why he was MVP. He didn't miss a game, and he was in shape. He's in shape again, and the guy's so damn steady. And the final game of the night, Kings Blazers. Let's all start the Dame Lillard trade panic watch, or whatever the hell we want to call it. Because Portland, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Honestly, Chauncey Billups is the coach now, but it was like Terry Stotts was still there. The same offense. It's still Dame, you go now, and then CJ, let's trade off, taking turns. Dame just couldn't make a shot. 8 of 24. Who's calling me during a live show? It's an embarrassment. It's my mom. Estelle, don't call me right now. So Dame was 8 of 24. CJ had a big night, 14 to 24. But it's the same shit. And then Nurkic, they rely on him a lot. 20 points, 14 boards. He was good. Covington was his usual disgusting self. Couldn't make a shot. Norm Powell, again, did not shoot well. Both those guys were 3 of 9. And then off the bench, I mean, Larry Nance Jr., I thought was going only played 17 minutes. I thought he'd play a bigger role for them. Game 1, not many minutes there. And Nassar Little, the Portland fans, all summer long were telling me how great Little's going to be. Well, you know what? He was little. He wasn't big. He was little. I'm not really a huge Little fan. So, again, this Portland team, quite frankly, isn't that good. And I don't know why Lillard wants to stay there. To win games, he's going to have to put up massive numbers like he's been doing. And also, he looked awful in the Olympics. He's a little guy. At some point, is he going to wear down? Wouldn't he like to go to a team where he can not have to, they don't need him to score 30, 40, 50 points a night to win games? Look, this team's just not that good. They're fine. They'll win games, right? But I don't, again, and their schedule was tough to start the year. I don't know. I wish that he would just say he's open to a trade. Or Portland's got to do something. Trade CJ if you want for Simmons. I don't know. I just don't see any way that they'll be. They're not a contender in the West. I mean, what? They're the 6th seed, 7th seed. Great. You can lose in the first round again, Portland. So whatever. The Kings. You feel good if you're a Kings fan, but Harrison Barnes had the game of his life. He made 8 threes. Took 11 threes. He had 36 points, career high. But there were some interesting things to note. So Fox was good. 27 points, 8 assists, 5 boards. Holmes was really good as well. But the thing to note for me is that Halliburton did not look that good. Did not seem to know what his role was in the offense. And down the stretch, he lost minutes already to Mitchell, the rookie. And look, they used Mitchell a lot to guard Dame and CJ down the stretch. And Mitchell is a great defender. Luke Walton's an idiot, but all he cares about is defense. He's going to find a way to get Mitchell minutes. And those are going to come at the expense of Halliburton, I think. So that would be, I'm not overly concerned, but that's something to watch in terms of Halliburton's development. So again, another guy, if you see some of his moments on TopShot kind of fall a little bit, I wouldn't be shocked. But again, I'm still high on Halliburton, but Mitchell is lingering. He's lingering there, and that guy, again, he's such a defensive presence. He is going to demand minutes on the court, especially for a Kings team that struggles defensively. So a good win for the Kings. Buddy Hield was good off the bench too. Buddy Hield, 31 minutes, 17 points, 6 boards, 2 assists, 7 threes. So the Kings, we'll see. It's the Kings. So, but a good win for them. They have talent. So, and it's just going to be about where do they get Mitchell in? What position? Where do they play him? Is Halliburton going to be the biggest loser in the minutes game there in that rotation? They did start Harkless, who they don't really need to play much. So can they go Fox, Halliburton, and Mitchell? Is that going to work? Or do they want to go more with Buddy, who can space the floor? So it's going to be interesting to watch that backcourt a little bit. But otherwise than that, and then all the way also Bagley, no minutes, 0. He's not in the rotation. So hopefully at some point maybe they can trade Bagley and get something. It's a weird situation there. So it's always something with Sacramento. That's it. We got through 11 games, 36 minutes. Man, what a fun night of hoops. That's it for now because, again, I went over. We're back live tonight. I think we're live at like 6 p.m. Eastern. So I'll see you in a few hours on Twitch. If you like these videos, if you want me to do more of them, put in the contents, or you can put it in the comments. Whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. You can say you like it, you hate it, you love it. And let me know what you want me to talk about during these shows. Want me to focus more on more TopShot content and what you should buy, my favorite buys from the night. We can talk less about the games, more about other stuff. You let me know. Put it in the comments. Like, subscribe. I love you, and I'll see you soon.